Hello again and welcome to Steve's Long Term Workshop, where some stuff going to be looked at to be repaired or whatever. In some cases it's been looked at elsewhere, in some cases it hasn't. With this one, I don't know. This is a Zenith Transoceanic AM/FM receiver. It's a model of 3000i in the back there, and these are very good radios. There's a dial, you see, and if we go a bit further down with it, like that, we have in this one the dial there, the front, and here under in here there's a boot with all the frequencies in from when it was used, which was probably in the 60s and 70s. So I don't know how much use that will be now, but it's certainly worth having. So this is our next project. Not mucky, but that means you know it's been used and enjoyed and put away and maybe not messed with. So I don't know about that, but we'll see. Anyway, now of course in the back of it, I'll turn it round for you like that. Let me find out where it's holding it up here. Okay. There you go. Right. If it's turned around like that. That is the back of it, which I'll zoom in on. Hang on. This is the back of the radio in question. These run on 15 volts. Battery covers unit is not here, but I've got something to them for that, so there's no worries there. American sets of transistors are socketed, which is easy in one respect, but not in another, because they do in fact fail, and there's a screw missing there, so two actually. So somebody has probably been in this. I don't know if there's something that should be across there, but if there is, well, it's not here. So yeah. Like I said, this is AM and FM, and the FM, by the way, in America went up to 108 straight away. In Britain, of course, it went up to 100, and then 108 later on. Once the piece had been cleared off. Because when I was a kid, you used to listen to the police on the radio, which was interesting. We're supposed to listen to it, but everybody did, you know. Especially burglars. The police radio was digitized, by the way, so that doesn't happen anymore. Shame, really. But there you go. So this is it. So yeah. Now those two are linked together. That one isn't, and I think this radio takes 15 volts, I think. So what I'll do, first thing I'll do is I'll get online using the trusty machine here, and get hold of the circuit and stuff like that, and we'll take it from there. Normally I wouldn't do it straight away, but with this set I think it's important, because I've worked on one of these before, so this is the next job on the bench, is to get this thing working. In. It might work, it might not, we don't know. Sometimes in this business, excessive equipment does let you down. My power supply suddenly shot up in voltage. At the moment now it's reading at about 12 volts. So what I've done instead is I've got a Duracell battery and connected that up. It's 9 volts. It does say on the circuits 9 to 12 volts, so that's 9.2, so that should be alright. Now on these sets they say 15 volts, but it's strange by British anyway. You see, it takes 12 volts to go between black and green, which of course is the ones for the set, to the volume control, and black goes to positive and green is negative, because of course it's the transistors in this are germanium, so they're wired the other way around. Oh, fun. Anyway, so now I've got a battery wired up, and what I've done here, I've got a meter 720 volts, and I've got 9.24 volts. So switch on, absolutely nothing at all. Nothing. So it should be something. So that's what we've got. 7.35233231. Okay. So obviously something is drawing a lot more current than it should, because even with a gel cell battery it shouldn't drop that much. Now, looking at the circuit, which I've got in my phone, I'll print it out for you tomorrow, and we'll come back and look at this again. It goes to a transformer, to the speaker, similar to the some valve radios, although it's not. And also it goes to the primary and secondary of the interstage transformer. Now in that case, what we can do very quickly is if I whip these two transistors out like that, yeah, and power it again and see now what it is now very quickly. I think this battery is going to be 8.98 volts. Okay, 8.99, and it's constant at 8.9 as well, which suggests to me straight away, with it off again, it's 9.03. So therefore it's likely to be one of these two transistors here. So basically this one has got, to start with, a faulty output stage. With these things are set like this, you can't actually pull them out and take them and put them back in again, but they are a matched pair. So next thing we do is get online and sort out what sort of transistors these are, and check them. Even if one is okay, it's prudent to change them both. It's something that we'll do. Okay, so that's the next thing we're going to do. Now, if you haven't got a meter and not a current transistor tester, a quick check with a meter like this is simple. All you do is go across two of them like that, and guess what? That one is dead short circuit. That one, dead short circuit. So that one is only fit for the bin. Now the other one, very quickly, same thing applies again. Get it we can go on pin like that, and we'll see what this one's like. That's short circuit as well. So both these transistors are short circuit. So both those are bin fodder. We'll take a few minutes now to look at the circuit so far. First of all, the power arrangements on these. 15 volts battery pack here, which I've made up out of 5 or 10, 5 on each side, double A's. Okay. Now from this there are feelers coming out. Yeah. Now the radio only operates on 12 volts. Yeah. And here you see there are 3 leads coming on the plug, which goes to the circuit here. Yeah. So far so good. Okay. So it's 12 volts to the radio deck and 3 volts to the bulbs inside. Yeah. This one had them tied together, so the bulbs in this will probably have gone due to over voltage. That's not something to worry about too much, but a little knowledge can be a dangerous thing, as Shakespeare would say. Now, what I do, this battery pack has a PP3 adapter for it, which goes on there, and also it's going to I'm going to make it add an extra wire here inside here to go to Earth. Yeah. Now this radio, this part of the set for starters, probably the rest of it is actually germanium based, and so it is positive ground. Okay, so the positive goes to deck. So negative from this, which will probably be black, and we'll always check, will go to the radio. Positive will go to the lamps. No matter which way around lamps go, so it doesn't really matter. The lamps, of course, are here. Okay, and of course they all go through that connector. So I think it's green, brown, and black. That's how we do it. Okay, so that's what we'll do. They also, I found with this radio that the input transistors are open circuit. Again, whether that is because of the transistor being faulty or something killing them, at this point I don't know. So I will be looking further. As you can see here, they go through an input transformer there, an output transformer here to the speaker. Yeah. So check all that through and make sure it's okay. Make sure the transformers are okay. The speaker, I can put another one in. The transistor, well, anything that will fit will do. So, you know, within reason, I can deal with them. But this transformer is interesting because it actually is more like a valve transformer that operates in that the voltages to these two transistors both came through it, to the middle of the primary to two secondaries, if you like. Yeah, the output isn't the normal way. So if that's gone, then we need to think a little further about how we're going to make this work, because I don't think we'll get one of those. So we need to think about other ways of sorting it. Which again, I will think about that if the need arises. Okay. So that's what we're up to with it now. Now, because Zenith sets, American sets, are very, very good, I shouldn't expect too many problems. But having said that, this has been messed with, and when a set's been messed with, we really don't know. So the first thing we do with this is to whip it apart completely. There are some things in here which do need to be looked at as well, such as very crackles and stripes and goodness knows what, but which we need to address. So we will address them in our usual kindly way, shall we say. It's quite these were quite a good set back in the day, and rarely do you find them in this state. But when you do, basically you've got to take the whole thing apart and look at it from scratch that way. So the first thing to do is take the unit apart, properly apart, by the way, out of this cabinet, and take it from there. So that's what we're going to do. Oh dear, something's happened outside. Okay, never mind. It's not my problem, you know. I think it is actually. I'll go and have a look. I'll stand by. The manual doesn't tell us how to dismantle it. So what I'll do in this situation is I'll take all the chassis screws one by one, and after each one I'll see if the chassis moves a little bit more. Then at some point something will come out. I've got the camera to look at for what went where now, so you know. But these screws are just hex-headed, and these are the ones that you know, make it, you know. You see straight away now, it's coming like that. So we're nearly there already. So I think the next thing we're looking at is this wave change switch on the side here. I'm not quite sure how that comes out either, so always loop before you leap with things like that. Also, I noticed with this that it did actually seem to have screws missing, so somebody has been in this before. So always be on your guard that little bit more. So I don't know how this wave change switch comes off yet. I'll just have a little look and see if there's a simple way of doing it. The use is with American sets actually, but unlike German sets, it's not quite so difficult to find. Finally got the thing apart actually. The buttons on the knobs came off the front, as you know. The screws came out, and this wave change switch actually comes out. It's the only one that's held in with a grub screw, which is there, and I think that's one that was in, but that's one that's stopping it now. And that hides another screw which has to come out as well. Clever, but not overly. Now, with everything out of the cabinet, you find that the system, the radio, does not actually go to deck. Even with the thing switched on, the message does not go to deck. It does there, but not there, because the circuit has a 12-volt jack on it as well, which it's taking out circuit. So what we do now, these two are linked together. That one they just unearthed, we can ignore that, and we can have a look at the radio while we're here. That's the transformer underneath. These are two transistors here. Hang on, I'll put it where you can. Can you see that? Can you see that? Yeah, about that, right? That's the transformer there. Yeah, you see it? That one there. Transistors here. Pre-transformer, a Gary transformer here. And the other two, the driver and the RF is, and the first IF is there, and the IFs are here. Okay. Now go and look at the back of it, which I'm going to do like that. You see? Can you see that? Okay, yeah. That's the other side of it, and there are a few things which are going to need to be replaced here. Most of it is ceramic capacitors, which are usually okay. Usually, I think one has been replaced already, but there's something very good if it is, certainly better than mine. But that's too. I think that is made in England. That one, so I think that's been changed as well. Bottom there, the grey one. That's that one there. Yeah. But also it's got one of these black breeches there, and one of the others which need to be changed as well. And also there's another electrolytic which needs to be looped up there as well. So we've got to look at those as well. Zenith did not in the early days like PCB constructing. It was all hand wired like this, which is good in some ways but not good in others. If certain components failed, of course, they were awful to get at. They really were, and so you know we have to think about that as well when we're working on it. So anyway, with the thing like that now, you see, what I'll do is I'll turn it around again like that, yeah, and put these two wires together, and then of course we can check under here and make sure everything is something approaching hunky-dory. Something approaching it anyway, you know. Don't know what, but something like it, you know. By the way, also when I took the socket off, I left little bits of each wire actually on the socket, so that they could tell where it went on the circuit. That's a tip for the top there. Yeah, I know I could have brought out the circuit, but whether I'm going to put that back in again is another matter, because they do cause problems, those sockets. earphone sockets and main sockets do create other problems with things actually not working, so it is sometimes quite a good idea to leave them out. Again, another tip from the top there. What I've done here now is I've got the meter connected up as a on continuity, so it should actually make a noise when I do that. Well, it did, hang on. This meter's got some very interesting habits, I must say. So that shouldn't make a noise on there. It does, okay, fine. Now, when that makes a noise on there like that, it should also make the same noise. Look at the circuit. It goes through the transformer to both the collectors. That is there. It's okay, and there. It's okay. So this primary side of that is okay. Secondary, of course, goes directly to the speaker. So at this point, what we do is we go on the speaker terminals and make sure that is satisfactory. If it's not, then again this transformer is okay. So that transformer appears to be okay. I've not tried it on current, but that should be okay. Okay, the bases go to deck via a capacitor as well, but they also come off the negative line, as it were, via capacitors, and so therefore with that connected again to there like that, yeah, we should get something on the bases as well. What we will get, I don't actually know, because unfortunately I don't know how this operates here. The capacitor going to deck as well, which we're going to change, but it goes through that resistor there as well, which is, according to my phone, which is bigger, the phone that is, it goes through a 330 ohm resistor, and from there it goes to the bases as well. So again, these might not actually make the same sort of noise, but we can check and see. That sounds okay. I'll put that actually on 2-year-old and see what we get. On 2K and see what we get. Let's try that one first and see what that is. Just the bases. So the bases, that they're not easy to see, these, so bear with me. That one's okay, as you can see there, and that one seems to be okay, as you can see there. Slightly higher than it should be, so possibly that resistor's gone high in value. So I'll turn the radio over and find that resistor and check it wherever it is on the circuit. It's 330, so it shouldn't be too hard to find, he said. It shouldn't be too hard to find, he said. So is it it's there, and it goes to
It's only one of its kind. It's going to have to this, wasn't it? So that goes to there, and that's high. So that resistor is going to come out and be changed, obviously, because it's very high in value. The capacitor attached to it, by the way, that's going to replace as a matter of course, because I think it's probably going to be something which needs to be changed. So change it we will. And so we know from that, first of all, those transistors open circuit, that I'm going to change, that I'm going to change, and that I'm going to change as well. And now we have to find something which will go in their place, which should be interesting in itself, which means looking at around the line and the equivalent book to find something which will go in the place of those two resistors. So I will go and look at some books and see what I've got in stock and take it from there. Some components have been changed in this now. The difference in them is amazing. That was a 500 microfarad capacitor from when it was repaired. That's RS one actually, that, and it's replaced with this little thing here. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Which is about the same voltage. I've also changed the 50 here as well, and also this resistor here, which was high. So they've been replaced. Those two I've decided to leave. I trust them to look for them because it's a bit hard to get at. And also, now, I've got a battery pack for it sorted out here. It has been modified because, of course, it takes the earth from the middle of it. Do you see what I mean? The earth on the chassis goes to 12 volt out of 15 on here, yeah? And minus 12 volts goes to the radio. It's negative voltage because it's germanium, and the 3 volts goes to the bulbs, which on this are broken, but that's the least of our worries right now. So therefore, if I was to plug in this this battery pack, which I can do, I should be able to do relatively easily. Like that. Why is it these things work except when you're doing them on camera? There, that goes in. Now therefore, there should be minus 12 volts on to the radio, which is here. And there you go. Minus 12 volts. Hang on, I'll put it up so you can see. Hang on. Right. Can you see that? Yeah, okay, right. So first of all, minus 12 volts to the radio, which is, as you can see there, is there, that's okay. Well, minus 11.9 volt, 12, you know. And plus 3 volts to the bulb, which is and of course deck. Okay, so we know now that the batteries are okay for it, and the next thing we've got to do is sort out the new amplifier circuit for the output. But before I do that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to power it again like this and signal trace it through and see if any more of the transistors in this on the output stage are faulty by going at the volume control. So let me do that, and as we say in the trade, we'll take it from there. I now have the radio with the final transistors in, wired up to the signal tracer here. Okay, so we should be able to get something on FM at least. Because FM and AM, the aerials are in the lid here. If I just get the thing and show you like that, can you see that? Yeah. That and the metal lid, that is the AM antenna, and the FM is here.
from the lid. So all the antennas are in the handle, which is quite a nice idea actually. But it does mean therefore that that has to be connected up for it to operate. But also AM is probably not a goer, but FM more than likely is. So let's see what it has to say for itself, shall we? So on we go here. There we go. Wait for it to warm up. It hums a bit, by the way, which does tell me that it's warmed up. Has its usage, you know. And so now, if I put some power to this off my power pack, and immediately there, I don't know if you can hear it. There's noise. So. Let's put something on that, shall we? Make it. Put something on that, make it operate better. Any bit of wire will do for this, you know. The old meter probe is your favourite. Copyright fuel, by the way. I'm sorry, I don't make money out of this, and it's I don't even want to, so you know. That's a classic FM order.
For compensation. To find out, just text the word timeshare to 88802 now.
Bolton College, we're here for you. An inspiring range of adult.
Now, as far as the medium wave broadcast bands go, they won't do anything because on second thoughts they will.
Trans-Europe Express is back. Talksport's Continental Collect.
I didn't know that. There you go. There we are, top sport. And so forth. So this radio does, in fact, most of it does actually work. So now, the matter of tidying the thing up and getting the new transistors in. These particular units, these radios, they don't need soldering very much because the transistors are all soldered, which is quite useful because you can try various transistors and see if they work. I've got to put them in and let's see what happens.
On the BBC Sounds app on your smart speaker and on 88 to 91.
That sounds okay to me. And well, that's it.
BBC News at 10 o'clock, this is Mike Powell. There are warnings of another rise in energy prices on the day gas and electricity costs went up by an unprecedented amount.
Yeah, it's wonderful, isn't it? It's first thing I want to hear that, but basically now, what I've done is I've got a couple of transistors, don't know what these are exactly, but they are PMP germaniums, and they've gone in and they do rather well. So I still think they'll do fine. With these transistors, the original ones you get in these sets, you can get them on eBay, but they are frighteningly expensive. Frighteningly expensive. So you know, the answer is don't delete with something else. AC137s are good apparently, among many others. I don't know what these two are, what they're from, but I found them in the box and they checked it okay, so I put them in, and as you can hear, it's working. So the set is now nearly ready to be put back together again. There are other things I need to do on it, but there you go. It's like I said, it's working. So that is there. Now very quickly at this point, I'm going to take that speaker out of the way. We've done what I have to with that. That can go right, and it's worth looking very quickly at testing transistors. It's something which you'll need to do. Now, those of you who have a fantastic transistor tester, good on you. But the fact is, you don't need one. Okay, you don't need one. I'll just get a couple of transistors and be right back. So what you do, quite simply, get an ordinary meter like this one, 15 quid, and which it has on it an ohms range, and also it's very handy also to have a continuity tester. Your continuity tester, you run them together, it makes a noise, okay? Now, a transistor is basically two diodes back to back. That's all it is, as far as these are concerned. Yeah, it's not that in real life, but for these they are, okay? So now, that's nothing, and that's nothing, okay? There is, it would appear now, on here, nothing, okay? No problem. There shouldn't be any connection at all between emitter and collector. There should be none, okay? Now emitter and base or collector and base, there should be, okay? So what you do then is you put your meter probes on like that, and there is nothing, and there is nothing, okay? Now, at this stage, therefore, we now switch over here. Remember, by the way, to put them back afterwards, okay? And try again, and we'll see if this one gives us any healthy readings. And it has 2.8 there, you see, so that is okay. That's touching, that's okay, and that's okay. So it's that is basically a basic go no go test on transistors. Very simple. All you need is a meter and which the forward bias voltage on a diode. It tends to be 0.7 on these on silicon, and 0.2 on aluminium. Now here is a faulty one. Yeah. Let's see what happens here, shall we? I'll put these away again. Put them back the way they were, like that. And that goes on there. And that goes on pins in. Oh look, dead. So that transistor is short circuit. That transistor is short circuit. That one is bin fodder. Okay, but these two are okay, and that is basically how we check transistors with a test. That's a basic no-go test. It's all we had back in the day. It served us then, so you know, you don't need all this fancy kit. Just an ordinary meter will tell you everything you need to know in cases like this. Everything you need to know, you can tell with an ordinary meter. Anyway, with this unit now working on our bands, which we proved before with the signal tracer, the next thing I'm going to look at here actually is bulbs. I know bulbs are only a small thing, but at the same time, you know, I like to have things right. So time to go looking at bulbs. Now on this particular unit, like that, the bulbs are actually in the top here. It's like them, from the top there. So that comes out, and then we should be able to get the bulbs out. Find out what type they are, and then of course from that get new ones and put them in. But before we do that, let me just connect this up again, and we'll make sure that there is actually voltage. Actually, no, I'll do it with the batteries. I'll do it with the that goes to deck, yeah, and this wire here again. It won't do anything until that is pressed down. Okay, so when that's pressed down, I should get a reading on here. Okay, this will be difficult with one hand, won't it? Supposing I put that onto there like that, if it'll go. No, it won't. Okay. Okay. Well, in that case, if we go down here to the switch and check both sides of the switch here, make sure the switch is okay while we're at it. Down here you see there's two switches, and one that is AFC, and this one here is the buttons, as it were. So from here from 3 volt supply to deck, there should be nothing at all until that button is pressed down. So what I'll do, if I leave the hang on, if I was to take out the earth like that, just leave the earth off and put the other two on like that, yeah. So like that, you see now, yeah. Earth, and one of these here, one of them should be 12 volts and one of them should be very little. Okay, so with that on like that now, you see, turn the thing over again like that, and we'll find out exactly how this is going to work. Hang on. Sometimes with one hand things can be very, very difficult to do. Just bear with me on this, okay? I know that bulbs are faulty because they don't come on. Pretty obvious, isn't it? So, okay, and that one, yeah. And that does nothing. Okay. The other one, of course, is the is the radio itself, which is at 12 volts. But this one here does nothing. If you turn it off here like that, 12 volts supply should not be taking anything through at all. So I'll just quickly do that. And as you can see, it doesn't. But here, it doesn't at all, because unfortunately the bulbs are both gone. That's the quick way to check them. You don't need to, because we know they've got a bit into a state, but wanted to check and make sure. So that comes out of the way again. Batteries go out of the way, yeah. And now I'm going to look and find out what bulbs they are, and whether I've got any in to put into there. But the radio itself is now working. Now it will need the back in the case for two reasons. One is that it is the areas for it in the lid, and secondly for alignment. So both of those will be done with the set in the case. But it's now, shall we say, okay, it's now working radio again. The bulbs in this are here. They go behind the tuning dial like that, yeah, and the bulbs go inside like that. You see, the sockets are there. Okay. Now then, I know these two bulbs are faulty because the bulb supply and the radio supply were linked together down there when I started looking at the set, and these bulbs are only 3 volts and they've got 12 volts up them, so again they're bin fodder. But so what I'll do now, I'll go and get a couple of bulbs, put them in, and hopefully it'll light up as well as play. You never know. Bulbs safely put back in the case at the top here now. Even with the radio switch off, the dial lamp still work. I demonstrate. So that's them sorted out. So next thing we've got to do is get this radio back in its case, because alignment has to be done with the unit in the case. So that's our next port of call. The aerials on this set, like I said, are in the case, and for that reason we do think very much that this is very much the way to go. So now it comes to the moment of truth, because like a tape recorder, a radio apart and made back in its case are two completely different units. I know this from personal experience, very personal experience. So first of all, the wave change switch here comes off. Like so, come on, wait, so it comes off. Like that, okay. So now, get the radio back in its case and get the aerials wide up, put the speaker in, and take it from there, as it says. It's like I said, if you look inside the case there, you see that's the we're gonna clean. That's the speaker there, and that's the speaker there, you see. And here at the top here, there's another connection and the aerials on the top here. They are actually in this wave magnet thing here and the handle, so both need to be looked at, as it were, in that sort of way. So now we simply put them through there like that, put this onto here like that, and wire it up and put it in. By the way, one thing I was saying, by the way, one thing I'm not going to put back together again is the 12 volt socket on the side here. These can give you a lot more trouble than they're worth, so I do tend to leave them out. It's personal choice, but I tend to prefer to leave them out, so that's what I'm going to do. Well, the radio is now back together after a bit of a struggle. Not the easiest thing to get apart and get together again with one on, but I've managed it. So it's fixed actually now. It does actually appear to be alignment wise pretty much spot on, as you can hear. That's classic FM, by the way. That's the Shango 066 there. I don't like this Mambo Rock. That's VHF. Now, take that aerial down like that, you see, because otherwise it does in fact cause problems on AM. So now we go. Long wave. That's radio 4. Medium wave on this actually, our broadcast band of the States is very, very sensitive.
In Syria, where I spent a great and get into Tottenham, it will be a big win for them as well when you think about where they...
There's a lot of noise in here, but it is actually pretty reliable that way. Shortwave band, well, some active and some aren't. So that's not exactly. So it does work on all bands now. So it's quite an involved repair, this, but they're quite good for beginners, these, because they are in fact transistors are all socketed in, so little soldering required. Component wise, actually, all the capacity I had to change in it and the clear resistors were British components like that one. The American parts were okay on, actually, surprisingly. So that's rather interesting, isn't it? The book, by the way, here, the Zenith book of shortwave, which nicely put away there. So it does actually work. Oh, by the way, also it does that as well, by the way. So that as well. So yeah, it does work. It works rather well, actually, and well, I'm not happy to have one after all this time, because I would, you know. So on and so forth. That's a Hollis there, by the way, if you didn't know, with Bus Stop from 1966. Anyway, that's it for me for this episode of Steve's Long Stay Workshop. Tomorrow, by the way, I will be at Gormon, so maybe I'll see you there, or maybe I will have seen you there at that point. But until then, bye bye and take care. And whatever you do, keep fitting radio. It's a way to live. Bye bye.